Hi, this is Bruno from RVing TV, and today we're going to take a look at a GMC Terrain. The Terrain is a mid-size sport utility. This is an all-wheel drive Terrain that's very unique, and I'll explain that just shortly. But let's take a look at some of the outside features of the Terrain. So as I mentioned, this is the mid-size offering in the GM lineup. In the GMC lineup, there is a bigger sister in the Acadia, but you'll find this is one of the most popular segments in the market today. Now this GMC Terrain, as I mentioned, is an all-wheel drive. This unit that we're looking at has actually the Pro Grade package as well as the Blackout package. Now, while we're outside, let's take a look at what the Blackout package means. What you're going to get is actually black fascia all around, black mirrors. You're going to get a blackout grille, and your luggage racks are black as well. But really nice features, you're going to pick up 19-inch black aluminum rims with black caps. When you upgrade to the 19-inch, you're also going to get yourself a set of Hankook Ventus S1 Noble 2 tires. Sorry, that was a bit of a mouthful. This unit's also been equipped with the optional GMC lettering blackout front and back as well, which just kind of finishes this versus having the red GMCs. Let's take a look at the vehicle in general. This is powered by a 1.5 liter turbo engine. There is an option for a 2 liter. The 1.5 is actually going to get you the best fuel economy and still have a very peppy driving experience across the board. This is equipped with a 9-speed transmission. In 2018, GM introduced the all-new Terrain with this 9-speed transmission, and it is just a beauty to drive. We'll show you some of those little features inside tied to that transmission. But for now, let's take a look at our occupants area here in the back. So when we look inside, you're going to notice a nicely appointed occupants area, very good seating space, and you'll notice compared to most mid-size SUVs that our door entrance is actually a little wider. In a lot of SUVs, our rear axle is actually forward and partially underneath our rear seats. Here in the GMC, it's actually pushed back, and that gives us a bigger, easier access. So we have nice large doors to get in, you know, nicely appointed with some finishing touches. Our rear seats do actually recline, so you have two positions. You have your vented areas, vents in the back for heat and air conditioning, as well as a couple of USBs and a 110 household plug. But to give you an idea, I'm about 5'9", and getting in is nice and comfortable. I've got, if you come up a little close here, you'll notice I have really good headroom, as well as the seating has been set up for myself, and at 5'9", really good leg room. So even someone at 6'2", going to be very comfortable back here. And as I mentioned, we can recline that seat just a little bit. Nice sturdy seats. Now this unit has cloth seats. You can option up to leather. I actually happen to like the cloth seats in here. I think they're going to be a little cooler in the summer, and I'll explain later why I like the cloth seats even more when we jump up front into the main driver and passengers compartment. Armrest with cup holders for your passengers in the back, and you can flip that up and actually seat 3 comfortably back here. Now let's take a look at our storage area out in the back. And again, out back we have a really nice profile on the Terrain. You have a little bit of an aerodynamic scoop here that helps protect. Rear wiper blade, nice and darkened windows so you actually can't really see in. And again, our blackened out GMC badging. Now our rear tailgate on this unit is actually a manual tailgate. You can get a power tailgate with your kick feature to open. And in our Pro Grade package that this unit has, what you're going to get in that Pro Grade is you're going to get blind spot detection, which is a 2-level detection on this unit. I'll cover that a little more up front, as well as backup sensors. But with your backup sensors, you're also going to get rear cross traffic alerts. When you're backing out of that parking space, backing out of your driveway, it's going to tell you if there's oncoming traffic. Then coupled with that, which is really nice, is you actually get the GMC Safety Seat. This is something that Cadillac has used in a number of their vehicles. It's a seat that actually vibrates. So if you're driving down the road, backing up, cross traffic coming in various situations, the seat will actually vibrate. And I mean the driver's seat. So even if you take your eyes away for a second from your backup camera, or you haven't looked over at your blind spot mirror and you start to make a maneuver, that seat's going to vibrate underneath you to let you know there's some sort of safety condition. Now when we pop this open, nice simple button, it opens up easy. It'll open itself to a really nice storage area. We can actually put several large bins back here. Our seats are 60-40 split, so you can flip them down. And what GM has done is over on this side to flip the seats, there's no more running around to the side doors, popping them open, flipping them down. You can actually simply pull a lever in the back here, and we can actually drop both of our seats. Now GM states in this vehicle, because you can also drop the passenger seat flat out front, that you can actually have 8 feet of storage in here. So you needed to get a 2x4, you could get an 8-foot 2x4 in here and completely close the back gate. Of course, we have our camera bag here. This unit's been equipped with the rubber mat in the back to keep it nice and protected. But when we lift this up, it exposes an additional storage area below. And what this storage area does is it allows you to just have extra gear in here that you could keep as secure and out of the way. Now another feature on this Terrain, it's been optioned in with our block heater package. And when you get that block heater package, you also do get a few winter screens that you can put on the inside of the grille to keep some of that cold airflow out. Then below this storage, we actually have our spare tire down here. So we're all set for emergencies. And that's just a nice, neat little setup overall. Let's come around to the front to the driver's area, and we'll take a look at the driver's and the passenger seat. Let's take a look at the driver and the passenger's compartment area here. First thing to note, we have really nicely appointed seats. Now, as I mentioned, these are the cloth seats, and I do have my preference for the cloth for the summer months in this vehicle itself. You can option in leather, but you'll find these seats very supportive. The materials are really good. The bolstering is really good. Now, with this unit, you're going to actually get an 8-way power driver's seat and a 2-way lumbar support bolster in here. So you'll see the seat is very comfortable for sitting in, and for those back roads, nice round curvy back roads that you'll enjoy driving more sportily, they'll actually give you really good support. As we look around, there's lots of nooks and crannies in the doors. There's multiple areas to hold some storage, as well as in our center area. You'll notice down here below the console, there's a couple of areas for storage right here in the center, even under the armrest itself. And then we open up and we have a nice large armrest. There's a removable tray in here so you can get larger items down in the center, put that back. Nice little feature, like all GM products. You have your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Normally that has to be plugged in with a USB right on the dash. In this unit, you can use the one here at the dash. There's also 2 USBs in this actual console, and you can plug in your phone to get your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay while your phone is tucked away in this console and out of the way. Just a nice little feature that GM was really thinking. Let's hop in and take a little closer look at the appointments. Now, you know, this is a very nicely priced vehicle. MSRPs on these vehicles are going to range from about $38,000 to about $54,000 depending on equipment. And the materials here, you're going to find are good materials. Yes, there is plastic, but you're going to find, you know, you've got that faux stitching here, you've got little wood style accents, little areas again where you can store gear, your aluminum trim, and you'll notice as you pan across the dash we have aluminum trim in the center here. We actually have it in our main center stack on our steering wheel. They've really appointed it nicely. Now I'm going to start up the vehicle. It is a push button start, and one thing you'll notice that's missing from this vehicle is our traditional shifter. On most GMs, it'd be up here column mounted or right down here center mounted. On this vehicle, we don't. What they've actually done is they've taken our shifter and placed it right here as buttons. I really like this because it opens up this storage space, keeps it out of my way. You also don't have to worry. Now, there have been some reviews out there of people saying they don't like it. Some say they do. I found I really like this setup. Very easy to use, simple, straightforward. Now, in the Terrain, you do also get dual zone heating controls, which is a nice touch. Fully automatic, of course. And in the Pro Grade package, you get, as I mentioned, your upgraded 8-inch an Infotainment Center, as well as what it will give you is high definition rear backup camera. So not standard, but high definition. You'll notice the clarity is really good. And of course, we have our cross traffic on that. And again, it's tied to our safety seat so that if we get too close, it's actually going to vibrate the seat underneath me. Now, something that's unique about this Terrain, and I'm going to point down here to the center, is I mentioned that it is an all-wheel drive. And it's true, but it's not true. So it is an all-wheel drive. You notice right now we're in two-wheel drive mode. This Terrain boasts up to 31 miles per gallon. And that is because in two-wheel or front-wheel drive mode, you can actually maximize fuel economy. So you can maximize fuel economy when you don't need that all-wheel drive, which, if really you think about it, is 80 to 90% of your driving life. You're driving in good weather, it's not raining, it's not snowing. So even those winter months, in between snowfalls when roads are dry and clear, that all-wheel drive system under most vehicles is actually eating up fuel economy for you and not really giving you any extra grip or advantage in the dry weather. Here in this Terrain, you can slip it into front-wheel drive, maximize your fuel economy, and get upwards of that 31 miles per gallon. At any moment, any speed, this transaxle has been set up that it can be dropped into all-wheel drive. And that's our first setting. So we go all-wheel drive, little more front-wheel biased. And then we have a snow mode or an off-road mode, which again at any speed can be engaged. So once you've engaged all-wheel, then you can go over to your snow mode. And that is going to shift to more of a rear wheel bias. And they do this through a specialized transaxle at the back, which is actually more of a, the way GM described it to me, was more of a dual clutch type of system. So it engages very quickly, very efficiently, and gives you active power. Also, if you decide you want more spirited driving, so maybe in that nice summer day you want to get out for a drive on those back roads, drop it into snow mode, shift the bias to more rear wheel drive, and they've said that's their more spirited driving mode itself. We're going to go out for a test drive shortly, and I'm going to show you switching, how easy it is, and how unnoticeable it is when you drive. You're not even going to be able to tell that it's switched into all-wheel drive. A couple of other great features, which I'll point out down here, is we do have heated front seats, but something that I like that's been different from a lot of vehicles out there is we have two levels. You can actually heat just the back of the seat, or you can heat both the bottom and the back of the seat, depending on your preferences. So for example, I like to have the entire seat heated. My wife likes more of the back of the seat. And then of course you have 3 different settings. We also have hill descent here. And if you've optioned in the tow mode, there would be a tow mode button down there. Now let's take a look at our infotainment center and our main driving stack. Our infotainment center here is set up nice and convenient. A bonus of the Pro Grade package is that you do actually get regular navigation with this, as well as your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have your phone and your audio. You can also set up different users and create a profile there. As well, GM has set it up that you can actually load some apps on here. Whoops, sorry, I guess just having a small issue today with that. You can add on some various apps for shopping, etc. on this. Very nice and easy to use. You notice I've slid it over and it's connected to our phone right now, and you can actually have navigation as well as your phone running on here. When we look at our center stack, you'll notice our RPM gauges are nice and detailed, our speed gauge, we have our fuel and our temperature, but we also have our information center screen in the center, and we can use that to tell us multiple things. The default is our speed as well as our range, and the little white box is actually going to tell you the speed of the road that you're actually on. We can come over to an information setting, and we can use our fuel range and see our instant fuel economy. We can drop down to look at tire pressures, average economy. We can take a look at our average speed, and I'll go back one. Our fuel economy here, you know, we can actually use that live to see over how many kilometers. So this vehicle over the last 80 kilometers averaged 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers an hour. Best was down at 8.1. Our timer, we can look at our battery volts, coolant temperature. So there's some great features. You can also set navigation or your phone or radio to be here in the center as well. And this terrain is set with auto stop. So as you pull up to a stoplight, a stop sign, it'll actually turn off the engine to maximize that fuel economy and reduce emissions. So what we'll do now is we'll get set up for a nice little test drive, and we'll go out and experience how this terrain actually drives, and we'll give you some examples of that all-wheel drive system in use.